Good evening, everyone. It is an honor to be here. And my wife and I, we are so grateful to you all. Thank you so much. And in a way, I guess this is why I wanted to come and at least share some of this information in a way to say thank you to you for what you've done already for quite a few years on our son. My wife, Laura, is over there, and so she knows I'm speaking from my heart. And so I'll let me share with you that how I started doing this. What we're going to be seeing tonight is what I have called eradicating the allies of cancer and autoimmune disease. Okay, and so but how I came to research for the past 5 years, well, maybe a little bit less than that. All of this was because of a testimony that I would like you to see first, okay? So let's just watch that video first. Thank you.
Does it hurt when I do this?
Dói?
Any tumor anywhere in the body
Qualquer tumor em qualquer lugar do seu corpo
disappear.
desaparece.
Like this sign will confirm your healing.
E esse sinal vai confirmar a sua cura.
I will press
Eu vou pressionar
and I will pull like
e
this,
eu vou empurrar
and there will be no pain.
e não vai ter nenhuma dor.
In the name of Jesus Christ.
Em nome de Jesus Cristo. Não.
Now, it really was like this. Tell me.
Toca aí, fala.
Como é que foi sua experiência, Rosana?
Maravilhosa. O pastor Arjano esteve aqui e eu tenho um problema de linfoma folicular, né, que é um câncer no linfático. E ele orou por mim. Eu tinha visivelmente um caroço no pescoço e esse caroço desapareceu. Mais ou menos assim, do tamanho de um limão. Você via em alto relevo. Hoje não tem nada. Meu médico até ficou meio confuso. Fez exames clínicos e falou, não tem nada.
Let's go to the next slide while I tell them. So just in case you weren't able to read, she was actually completing a testimony after she went to run a CT scan or a PET scan. And so she had been diagnosed with lymphoma, Hodgkin's in her case, and that evening, God just, by His grace, touched her, and the tumor started shrinking. And I asked her, look, you have to go to the doctor and make sure everything is proven. Because I believe God created science. He did. And so she went and she had everything run, and everything had disappeared. So that was a wonderful miracle that her testimony has encouraged many people. Now, that was in Brazil about 9 years ago. And that, but 3 years after she had been healed, I received a call from a friend of mine in Brazil, that pastor that you saw there. And he said, hey, Argenis, how you doing? I said, I'm doing great. How you doing? Great. Remember our friend Roxana? That was her name. And I said, oh, absolutely. How could I forget about her? Her testimony had actually encouraged so many people. He said, well, I'm sorry to tell you, but she went to be with the Lord a few days ago. I said, oh, really? Yes. I mean, apparently cancer came back, and it took her in a matter of 3-4 months. Now, that really struck me. And I don't know about you, but the God I know, when He does something, He does it completely. Nothing is halfway. The God I know, when He does something, if I think of what the Bible said, I'm not preaching tonight, I'm giving you a conference, but if I know what the Bible says in the book of Psalms 139, He says, in your book, everything was written. So it tells me that everything about you and me, it's written. So when she died of cancer, that it really hit me. And I went to the Lord, and He said, you need wisdom. And I don't know if you ever experienced when you ask God something and he responds to you, but you don't get it. If you've gone through that, you know what I'm talking about. And then he started showing me, and look, right there, it's actually, there is a Bible reference that says, in Jeremiah chapter 33, verse 6, it says, and in English would actually say something like, I will bring you healing and medicine. And you say, yes, the Bible says that we will pray for the sick and the people will get healed. But what about the sources that made a person being sick? What do you do with that? If a person is healed or if a person gets surgery, okay, and we do not correct the sources that originally produced the sickness, what could happen in the next few years? Yes. And so what I have dedicated countless hours of studies to find out the allies of cancer. Okay, when I was doing my specialty on clinical nutrition, I started researching specifically on that area. And then I realized that it was also that the same allies of cancer are also the allies of autoimmune disease. And to me, that was something that I said, why is this not being taught? It is not a secret. Why is not being just shown in the open so everybody knows? So they are divided in two categories, exogenous and endogenous. But before that, I'd like to show you one more video before we take that one, okay? I'd like to show you one more video. And this one is about Yvette from Belgium, okay? She was diagnosed with bowel cancer on an advanced stage. And that a friend of mine contacted her and said, you gotta speak to this friend of mine, which was talking about myself. And then she contacted me and I started treating her. And this is her testimony as she went through the whole process with a protocol designed just for her in this fighting against that giant.
My name is Yvette. I live in Belgium, in Vers. I was diagnosed of colon cancer with metastasis to the liver at an advanced stage. As a result, I was put in touch with the MINA protocol because I couldn't eat anymore. I was very tired and had lost a lot of weight. Once I got in touch with the MINA protocol, I followed all the instructions and advice offered by the protocol. And this allowed me to rebuild quickly and regain my strength. I could eat again, go about my business like a normal person. After that, I had colon surgery, and after the operation, a biopsy was taken. It turned out that all the results were negative. There was not a single trace of cancer in my body. Blessed the Lord, because I know it was God who healed me miraculously. Glory and praise be given to our God, the God of miracle and wonder, who has allowed me to live to this day. Anyone suffering from cancer, not to hesitate to contact the protocol.
So, whether a person is healed because God is sovereign and he can heal anybody, or whether God uses medicine for someone to recover health, either way, there is one clear truth is, do we know what are the allies of cancer and autoimmune disease? And people have some ideas, okay? Yes, okay? And so they are divided in two sections, exogenous, and this is what I'm going to show you in just a minute, okay? And then endogenous allies. So as you can see in the next slides right there, it says the electromagnetic spectrum, okay? And can you see there is like a big antenna on this side? Can you see it? Yes. And then it goes and it shows you, yeah, it also shows you your cell phone and all this and others. And then at some point you see the sun right there, okay? And then you see X-rays and other type of equipments, okay? So these electromagnetic waves, this is how they operate, okay? You have electromagnetic waves that they have a long distance, a long range of towards people, but the frequency, it's low. That means that it is not gonna change anything on you or give you some kind of a sickness, okay? People would actually go under stress and be irritated, and people fall into depression because they're exposed to this type of waves all the time. And I don't think anybody can actually escape from it. How many of you have a cell phone right now? So welcome to my club. And so, yeah, but then, and that includes the sun, as you see. We all know what happened with time, with the ozone and everything that has affected. And in one side, here in New Zealand, you have the privilege to see the sunlight every day as a First Nation, but also you have been exposed, because of that privilege, to a certain type of radiation that other countries might not get the same level because of the ozone coverage that has been affected. Okay, that's, unfortunately, maybe you have not produced that, but it has affected you all as a nation, all right? And so, and then when you continue, you can see X-rays and other type of equipment that are used in medicine, you know, but they would actually cause another effect. Why? Because they are not a long distance effect on the wave. It's short, but the frequency is very high. That type of frequency could actually alter DNA, could definitely produce some type of cell mutation, yes. And quite honestly, one of the basic concepts of cancer is self-mutation. So even though sometimes you see people who concentrate on the tumor, what can be seen, but that started at very tiny, micro. And that has to be addressed again, and even if it's not, it could actually come back. Okay, so we see that, and then in the next slide, as I want you to see it, okay, you see this man over here. You notice he's wrapped up into something, yes? That person could be you, me, or someone else, I don't know, in England or Zimbabwe, okay, here in this planet, on planet Earth. And so this person, it's surrounded by all this, what I'm going to show you, that I call the exogenous allies. And the first one, you can see it right here on your right, well, on your left, on top, okay? And even though small, let me describe it for you. You see that lightning right there, and then there is a cell, and then it zooms out a mitochondria, which is basically, the mitochondria is the center of your energy. It plays the most important role of how energetic you are and how alive you are, all right? And so in that, then you will find that if you have been exposed to this type of waves, it can affect you either way, whether your DNA or can affect your, and either to aging or potentially a cancer, okay? Now, another ally of, exogenous ally of this type of sicknesses is what I call heavy metals. And there you have it. Have you ever seen any of these, read any of these heavy metals? Have you come across to any information on this? Let's say mercury, all right? In the past, like dentist work, they used to have this feeling, and some of the component was mercury, okay? It's, thanks God for technology, things have actually advanced and it's not being used anymore. But there are people who still have that. And when you go to the doctor, that person will tell you, well, it's so minimum, it will not affect you. Okay, I respect those studies, but let me give you something. Let's say I have some type of solution for you, and it's great. It's great, but it has 1 drop of a rattlesnake venom. And I'll tell you, just don't worry, it's just a drop. It's not going to do anything to you. But how many years is that going to be in your mouth? Right there, heavy metals. So heavy metals, they are like this. They contaminate air, soil, and water. All right. And even though when we say we are eating organic, how do we know what kind of pesticide or whatever they used to spray it on the ground in order to somehow ensure the crop? All right. Because they have to ensure that if they invest money, they can actually have the good return. All right. So yes, do we care about people's health? Yes, but finances is important. So I'm not sure what type of pesticides they might use in one nation or another, but I do know that most of them are charged with a lot of heavy metals, and that is going to be affecting people, whether it's arsenic, lead, mercury, it's just there, okay, you name it. And then we have 2 allies, okay, we have the waves and then we have the heavy metals, but the next one, it also comes along, okay? All right, and here we have microplastics, okay, and there are 2 concepts. Microplastics, already it's telling you cannot see it, and then we have nanoplastics. That means it's even smaller, all right? But the thing is, no one can actually escape from plastic. Please turn to the neighbor next to you and tell them, we are wrapped up in plastics. Tell them. Yes. The funny thing is inside, yes, but you see, all this plastic, it actually gets the in your system everywhere, and it just penetrates. Not only, I mean, you can actually or eat it, and it actually goes through your skin. You see, and that. It produces many environmental changes, you know, like raising up the temperature and other situations, but it also contaminates soil, air, and water. It does, okay? You have a beautiful paradise. This is an amazing country. The Lord has given me the privilege to visit quite a few nations, and your nation, it's just gorgeous, and I love it. And do everything that is in your power to keep it this way, yes? But I cannot deny the fact that air travels, water travels, and it comes to your country as well, with nanoplastics and all of it. It just does, okay? So we can see 3 exogenous allies that keep playing on people's health. And then the next one, which is very common at homes, okay? And it's actually called home cleaning supplies, okay? Have you seen it? Actually, some of my patients, when I actually visit them at home or I see them online, they say, oh, we're keeping the house clean. We're using bleach. And I'm like, oh, I wish they wouldn't do that. Because, yes, you're thinking you're cleaning, you're having a clean environment. Yes. But that type of home cleaning supplies actually target the immune system. And if you're okay, you're healthy, it's fine with you. But if we have a person who has already been diagnosed with one of the sicknesses, you know, let's say multiple sclerosis, all right, their immune system is low. And then if you use this type of chemicals, you'd actually make it even worse. So I tell my patients, please use white vinegar and hot water. That would work as well. And then you keep the person safe. Okay, so we have that. And once we see these 4, it comes my favorite one. Okay, please. Yes. Do I need to explain it? Is it necessary? Let me just take, I mean, there are many. I wouldn't take all of my time going one by one, okay? But you can please just log in, even on Google, you know, just log in and write the name of all those chemicals for beauty that you put on your face. And I'll give you an example. Why, when a woman is pregnant, we physicians tell, do not dye your hair. Do not color your hair. Have you ever heard that? Because if she's pregnant, let's say she's 20 weeks, which is about 5 months, okay, in pregnancy, and dyes color her hair, that chemical is so strong that it will go straight through the placenta to the baby and can actually kill the baby. Oh, it's that strong. And so, how many decades is a person just coloring the hair? Not to mention the lipsticks with the aluminum in it, you know, talking about Alzheimer and Parkinson and aluminum. And so it goes and it goes and it goes. So I'm not going to go one by one, okay, but you can see the picture and she looks gorgeous, but she's poisoning herself. And so there must be a way for people to start running away or separating themselves from all this way of seeing things or doing things, okay? Now, here I have 5 main allies of autoimmune disease and cancer, okay? But let me tell you how it affects, okay? So as you can see on the first one right there, it says right here on this one, it can damage your DNA. It can. It really can damage your DNA. If you're being affected by this wave, you could have that, and it could give you some consequences like leading to a cell mutation. And I just told you one concept of cancer. It's not the only one, but it's one of those. Okay? Because sometimes people have a question, but yes, I was diagnosed with this, but what was the cause of it? And then when we continue with heavy metals, look what it says. It says, these are some of the systems affected: nerve system, endocrine system, immune system, circulatory, and gut microbiome. Oh my goodness. That's incredible. And it's year after year of heavy metals coming into the person, okay, from exogenous way of point of view. And then we see on microplastics. And it's the same. What are some of the systems affected? Nerve system, endocrine system, immune system, circulatory, and gut microbiome. It's been researched that when a person has a clog, you know, in one artery, it's not only fat, because microplastics are everywhere in the person's body. And it's kind of like they were a type of drones. Where there is a weakness, they go there. Yeah, really, it's like they were alive. Somehow, that they behave like that. And so we see that heavy metals and microplastics, they work like twin brothers. I don't know if I should say twin brothers or twin sisters, but they're bad, and they're twins. And they target the same systems. And then, as I continue here, I just mentioned to you when on cleaning supplies, it would actually target the immune system. And so if a person is being, fired with all these heavy metals and all these nanoplastics, and then their immune system goes down, it's preparing for everything, plus the waves. And finally, here we go with the last one. Look at it. The point with all this beauty thing is that it gets all of the 4 in one. So that's what it says right there, all 4 in one. And so, and those are exogenous, okay? Those are what we will call a way of getting or preparing for what comes ahead, okay? Some of you look very young, but I hope you will live a long life and a healthy life. And if you see and you identify any of this, you got to make the changes now, not when you're maybe 60, okay? And so You hope to get to 60, okay? So let me show you everything that I said through a video right here about exogenous allies.
Phone in its settings tells you how far it has to be off of your body. Legal and regulatory, click it. The very bottom one says RF exposure. That stands for radio frequency exposure. This must be 5 millimeter separation off of your body. It's about a pencil eraser. So they're covered when you get brain cancer because you put your phone to your head.
I always speak on speakerphone.
You bet you do. Distance is your friend with radio frequency, with electromagnetic fields, but higher rate of testicular cancer on young men because they put their phone. Get your phone out of your pocket. Get it away from your testicles.
I want to show your kids this video. This is wireless earphones, 22, 23, it was even up to 35 a second ago. This is the amount of radiation going directly into her brain. Now look at this. As I come further away, you can see it dropping, 0.1, 0.2. But let's look at wired earphones. All right, what do they have? 0.1, 0.2, virtually nothing.
These are the 9 most cancer-causing items in your home.
Cancer-causing items. Number 1, plastic containers. 2, nonstick cookware. 3, aluminum foil. 5, plastic bottles. 7, canned food.
There's actually one chemical in particular that destroys the whole reproductive system for both men and women, and it's called a phthalate. Phthalates are in all the fragrances. They're in our colognes, our perfumes. Our phthalates are destroying our endocrine system for both men and women.
How can we find out if that chemical is in something or not?
Yeah. So this is why I love fasting, because we get to take these long breaks from the toxic food. When it comes to our beauty products, there's apps out there to help us now. Skin Deep is one of them. Think Dirty is another app that's been put out that you can just scan all your products and see how toxic it is. It gives you a rating.
Chemicals in sunscreens enter your bloodstream.
Before you grab that bottle of sunscreen, the first thing you need to do is check the ingredients on the back.
When you apply sunscreen with those chemicals, along with 2 other ones known as escamsol and octocrylene, they can absorb into your skin and into your bloodstream.
Everything you put in your skin goes into your bloodstream. And the regular rule, and this goes straight across the line, is very simple. If you wouldn't eat it, don't put it on your skin. That goes for cosmetics and underarm deodorants and goes for lipstick and everything else.
When you get a tattoo, there are tiny needles sticking into your skin. After the tattoo, your skin will be in a terrible condition, and tattoos are painful for the immune system. The pigment molecules in the ink penetrate the dermal layer of the skin. At this point, the immune system begins to recognize these pigment molecules and recognizes them as invaders.
Depending on the color of ink, there's a long list of chemical compounds or heavy metals that it could include, such as aluminum, antimony, arsenic, beryllium, chromium, cobalt, lead, mercury, carbon, titanium dioxide, and more. In this study, 45 out of 54 tattoo inks contained unlisted ingredients linked to nerve damage, organ failure, and cancer.
Researchers found that more people with tattoos were diagnosed with either skin cancer or lymphoma. Tattoos larger than the palm of a hand more than doubled the risk of both cancers.
Yes. Yes. So what would be some of the solutions on this? Okay, if I show you the problem and don't talk to you about solutions, this would not be a good conference. Okay, so you want some answers as well, right? And so in one of the videos, you heard the word fasting. Yes, fasting. There are many types of fasting, depending on your physical condition, okay? If you're diabetic or you're going through some type of medication, you come and we find what is the best type of fasting you can do, okay? There's some people who can only fast eating green vegetables. I don't know, okay? And some others are good just by drinking water all day long. But when you do fasting, you actually give the opportunity to your body to renew, and renew, it gets rid of all these nanoplastics and all these heavy metals and all the consequences of the waves coming to you, plus the affections that it does, all these chemical supplies, on cleaning supplies, as well as the beauty cosmetics, okay? And yeah, no wonder why we see that. Now, let me put it as a question. Have you noticed that it is, when it comes to the affection of the endocrine system, it is ladies, the ones more affected? But for how many decades do they actually put all of that? until finally they quit once they're hit certain age. Yes, and so we have the results there. Okay, and so so we see that, but besides fasting, okay, there are other two. The next one here, I want to show you something. Okay, so the first three supplements you see there, which is vitamin C, vitamin D, and vitamin E, are the three ones approved by the World Health Organization and about in strengthening your immune system. So yes, if you can actually go and have a time for giving your immune system a chance to renew and to strengthen, yes, vitamin D plus K2, vitamin C and vitamin E are part of the equation. So I invite you to think about it. Now, look, every person is unique. If you were my patient, I will have to study the case, and then I will know what should you do or what should not, okay? Because there are some things to consider unless you're healthy and you just want to stay healthy, okay? But also, as you can see there is something called zeolite. Zeolite, which comes originally from volcanic rock. It has been shown so far to be the best supplement to get all these nanoplastics and especially heavy metals and drain it out. So it is a good tool. It is a great supplement. I am so glad this was created because it helps many, many people. And so, but also, as you see, and we will have the opportunity to taste, to try amenity, all right? Amenity is a component of 9 ingredients, all organics, herbs, and that it is antibacterial, it's also anti-inflammatory, antifungal, antioxidant. It's a dewormer. It is definitely a probiotic. It's a great, great tea. Everybody who has tried in different countries, they love it. And you can smell all the herbs on it. And look, this is not a secret. Anybody can go ahead and purchase the ingredients, which is written right there, and try to mix it. That would be the only situation right there, to find the proper balance on it. But we will have a chance to try it out tonight, so you can. So when you drink and you say, "Oh, this is a great antioxidant. Oh, this is a great anti-inflammatory. Oh, I love it. This is great because it takes care of my nanoplastics and heavy metals," and you think about it that way, and then it feels good and it goes with you. So it's 9 organic herbs that we are going to be able to try. Now, we're about to go to the second part, but this is what I like to do. I like to take a chance, it's not a break, a time in which we split in groups of maybe 3 or 4, okay? And I want you to just talk within yourself and come up with a question that you would like to hear an answer, okay? And so get in groups. We're going to pause the video for a minute, okay? And then so you can talk with you want to know something, whatever it is, whether it's for any autoimmune disease like arthritis or lupus or any type of cancer, or you might have a different type of questions, okay? But before we go to endogenous allies, I like to give this time. So let's take some minutes, talk within you, make groups of 3 or 4, and then you can ask me the questions, all right? Thank you. So the way we're going to do it, okay, I'm going to show you a video, and after I show you a video, someone representing your group can actually stand up, and because we're recording, I'm going to ask you, please, just to come forward over there on that mic so we can hear your voice and then be recorded, okay? That's very important. Other people would actually want to watch this conference, and that please bear with me. This is not my first language, okay? So I have to pay close attention when people are speaking so I understand the question, all right? Okay, thank you. So let's just go ahead and see the video first. And this video is about a lady from Switzerland. Her name is Dominique, and she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and how she went on a treatment and she was actually able to be free from this sickness, all right? So there she goes.
My name is Dominique, and I'm 41 years old. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis about 5 years ago. Since then, I had a lot of pain in my body. I could not get up out of my bed right away in the morning. I always needed at least 1 hour because of the pain that were so big. I used to be a football player and basketball player, and I had to stop because of the sickness. And a few months ago, my parents met Dr. Argenis Mena, and he recommended a treatment for me to help me fight against this disease. That meant changing the way I eat, changing my health habits, and at first, when I saw everything that I could not eat anymore, I thought, well, this is going to be just too much for me. But then I thought, you have nothing to lose. So then I started with a treatment, and I realized that it's true. A lot of my pains went right away. I was able to get up in 5 minutes instead of 1 hour in the morning. And yeah, I lost 14 kilos, which is very good. And yeah, I'm able to do a lot of things that I was not able to do before. And I really want to encourage people that will see this video that they try this treatment with Dr. Argenis Mena, because it's worth to try it. And you don't have to live in pain, and you don't have to live tired, and you don't have to go through so many struggles.
Before we start the questions, some people actually tell me, how come this can be like this? Okay, yeah. See, I don't travel to Switzerland. I don't travel to Belgium. Well, I haven't yet, okay? But patients will contact me from everywhere in the world, and so I can see them online. And the most amazing thing, and this is why it sometimes makes people like, really? Is that truth? Because everything that the person needs, it's either they have it in their city or they can just order it from Amazon. How about that? Okay, so I think that makes it even better, because it's just available for every person. All right, so let's just go ahead and hear some questions, all right? Who would like to please come forward? Thank you. Yeah, young people first, that's good.
One of the questions we thought of was, how do you know if you've had enough vitamins? Like, how do you manage it?
Okay, yeah, thank you. That's a good question. How do you know we have enough vitamins? Okay, let me just refer to that. There are some tests that you can run, like for vitamin D, okay, and which, by the way, nothing would substitute like going out and staying on the sun every day for 10 minutes, okay? That's the best vitamin D you can ever get, okay? The supplements are great, but in that case, God designed it a better way, all right? But in general, there is a balance between the vitamins you receive and the toxicity you're receiving. So rather than counting, I have this much level of vitamin C, all right? It's to know what are those allies, like we just saw, that are somehow, it's being negative to your system, which is then actually telling your body, oh, you need more, you need more. So I wouldn't focus on numbers and, you go and run this lab work, this lab test. It's identify what are some of the allies you are actually having, and then correct them. Yes, okay, anybody else, please?
Yeah, definitely all the young people are coming up first. Talking about fasting, my idea of fasting is 6 or 7 hours. Is it a lot longer than that? Can you just go through the fasting protocols that you would recommend?
Fasting protocol?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me give you maybe 2 or 3 examples on it. Let's say we have someone who is a diabetic, which is I doubt there are many diabetics in New Zealand, but there are other nations like, yeah, you'll find them, a lot of them. I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry. So, okay. So, because a diabetic person, we're saying that there is this disbalance of the glucose in the body. So we must be careful of what this person can actually eat and don't eat if it's going to go through a fasting time. But the concept like, oh, a diabetic person cannot fast, that is wrong. Okay? Yes, we're saying, should I practice a fasting with someone who is diabetic and I would actually focus on protein? Yes. Okay, so we definitely know, and you tell me that's fasting because it's eggs and steaks and chicken and mince, that's how you call it here. Or what? Yes, it's a diabetic. But I'm saying, but you know, this delicious thing called bread and pies, oh, that's out of the question. Okay, so because that person needs that, but like if someone's strong and it's healthy, okay, and I would say, okay, how about if we go on intermittent fasting? Thank you. Please correct me if I'm not pronouncing it correct, okay? You're healthy, you don't have gastritis or anything like that, and then you can definitely go fasting for 12 hours, up to 14 hours, and then you have those 8 hours to eat healthy. That would actually make you renew your cells, your what we call stem cells, okay? And that means it makes you younger, stronger, and definitely you live longer. And I like that, definitely, okay? But what if we had someone with arthritis? Okay? And then we know that I want to do a fasting for that person that would remove some of those chemicals that are in the joints that produces so much pain, okay? And so I would definitely say, okay, here's one thing. If we're going to do fasting on you, sausages and pepperonis are out. Ooh, yes, I know. Well, people like to eat sausages and stuff like that, okay? And so, and anything that comes in a can is out as well. Okay, so it just depends on the person. Now, if we want to go fasting, like just drinking water, I would definitely make sure that the person is healthy because I don't want a person do something and then it will cause a problem. Okay, and it's great. I mean, I've done fasting with water 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, and it's just incredible. It's just great. I mean, every time you fast, you are younger. Can we all say this together? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Every time, come on, 1, 2, 3. Every time you fast, you get younger. Yes. And that's good. Yes.
You said something about volcanic rock.
Yes,
cleanses all the toxins out.
Mm-hmm.
So how does it do that? And are there different things, like is there activated charcoal or something? Are there other things that will do the same thing? Come into the body and strip out all the toxins?
Okay. Yes.
So how does the volcanic rock, I mean, it must be ground up into a powder or something.
Okay.
And you ingest it and it...
Yes, okay. So it's not any volcanic rock. It's called zeolite. So it's very specific. So I'm not saying it can be found in every volcano. But it's what is found is processed in a lab, and it's a negative ion, and because it's a negative ion, it attracts all positive heavy metals, and subtracts them from the body, and that is wonderful. That is really good. Okay, and yes, there are other supplements like activated charcoal. Yes, it does. You want to just share it around? Oh, should I? Huh? Yeah. Okay. So this is a amenity that the one I mentioned to you. So we're just gonna pass it around. Enjoy it. It's a dewormer. It's anti-inflammatory. It's an antioxidant. It does many things because it has all this. It has turmeric and matcha and ginger. It also has a spirulina. I'm trying to remember the other ingredients, which I'm going to read it later on, okay? But going back to your question, activated charcoal, yes. If I could give you a good recommendation about how to reduce the amount of heavy metals and nanoplastics in your home, is that you're going to get a certified activated charcoal filter, and place it right there at the kitchen. So the water that you actually getting to drink goes through that process first, and that would actually help to reduce the amount of nanoplastics and heavy metals you bring into your body. So thank you for bringing that out. That was actually really good.
Can you just ingest activated charcoal?
Yeah, you may. There are capsules of activated charcoal, okay, and then you can digest it. Take them. My concern is to somehow in a conference make a general truth when I know every person is unique. You see, if I know a person is dealing with some renal difficulties or some situation with the liver, I would rather ask this person, can you sit down with me? If a person is healthy, then I'm okay. But if not, let's just sit down. There are many options, and I'm sure we can find a way. We can find a way to make it work for you, all right? Thank you. Okay, another question. Let's take 2 more questions, or maybe 3. I know there was a group back there. Yes.
How do you explain genetics when you get a whole family that genetically gets the cancer?
The genetics.
Yeah. So
Okay.
So the whole lot in that family get it.
Yes, thank you for that question. And yes, he is right, okay? I am about to start talking about the endogenous allies, and whether I like it or not, there is a genetic factor that runs into some families, okay? And I believe in the power of God. I believe God can heal people, but I would not deny that you can see in a family, and grandpa had it, daddy had it, and years later, decades later, the son is also having the same type of cancer. And there is a genetic thing running through the family. And so thank you for the question. It is truth. Then it raises this. If we already know that in my family line, we have that history, therefore, this conference for you, so you can stop all these allies and don't give power to that genetic line in you. And this is my experience with some patients, is that because they knew they had all this inheritance, they got into really suppressing and eradicating these allies. And when cancer came, it wasn't as strong as it was with his mom or his dad. And it didn't kill them. So yes, there is an answer then. You see? And this is like anything else. I mean, cancer is strong, but when you get the allies out, it loses power in a great way. It does. And so it is for autoimmune disease, okay? It is, okay? So thank you. Okay, let's take 2 more questions. Thank you.
Your call on the risk of G5 cell towers.
G5 what? I'm sorry?
G5 cell towers.
Okay.
You might call them a different name your way.
Maybe. But just tell me what it is, and then I will know.
It's the towers they use to communicate with mobile phones, etc., at the strength of G5.
Okay. Yes. And so there are studies of it. So basically, like that video said, distance is your friend, because it would affect. It affects you. So most of my calls, I actually go on speaker, because distance is my friend. All right? So this is not going to damage me. And like you saw that video, the lady said, man, get the phone away from. Yes, exactly. We men who are here, we don't want problems with that, definitely not. Okay? So, but thank you. Yes, so G5 would affect people, and some people are so addicted to being here, and I cannot do anything. Especially new generation are being more and more affected with it. Their quality of sleep, the deep of their sleep, actually, it's being affected a lot. So yes. Any other question that we might have? Also, the tower as well. Yes, they will, okay? And the closer you live to one of those, the more it would affect you. Yes, okay. What, is there one close to? What do you mean? On the other side? Oh, wow. Well, you only come here on Sundays, right? Thank you. It will. The closer you are, the more effective it will do on a person. Yes. All right. Let's just take one more question. If it's not, there's no more questions, then we continue for the second part of the. Have you tried amenity already? It's delicious. It's herbs. Okay. It tastes like vitamins, like watermelon. All right. That's good. Is there another question? Yes, go.
Yeah, thank you for tonight. Mine's just a little bit left field. With what you're doing, do you get a bit of pressure from mainstream health? You know, this is sort of a different from allopathic medicine. And do the likes of yourself form alliance worldwide? Like we've got the FLCCC in America, we've got World Health Council in Britain, New Zealand Doctors SOS here. Do you talk with each other and support each other and share information?
That's a good question, and most physicians are pretty reserved on the way of their knowledge, okay? I have shared with some physicians, none of them from New Zealand, and that my impression is that I have not found yet another physician teaching on the allies of cancer and autoimmune disease. And I'm talking about exogenous and endogenous, and that should not be happening. I mean, this is something that everybody should be aware of, and because it changes how we approach to medicine and how we actually work things out in order for people to get healthy. But yeah, unfortunately, not many physicians are communicating with each other on this. And yeah. All right, let's see. Now let's go to the next slides there, okay? Okay, and you see this man right there? He's great, but he's like trapped. You don't see yet why he's trapped. But we have gone now from exogenous to endogenous. The first thing we show, it was everything that comes from outside, from your shampoo and your deodorant to other stuff. Now, what about that comes in? And from within, so you have this army attacking the person and from the outside and then from the inside as well, okay? And so the first one that you can see there, it's called microplastics, all right? And it has 3 arrows, all right? One arrow says it's like you breathe in it, okay? And the other one is digesting, like eating nanoplastics, okay? I know here in Blenheim, you don't have hot summers, right? It's kind of like 28, 30 degrees or something during summer. So you guys are lucky, okay? But I'm going to Brazil in October, all right? And when I travel, I have to drink water. See? But the place we're going, my wife and I are going in October, it is a hot city. Okay? So I'm giving these water bottles in plastics. Okay? And it's cold and it feels good. Yes? But as soon as the temperature goes over 38 degrees, whatever is in the as in the container goes to the content, whether it's liquid or soil or solid, it goes into it. You see? And I don't know how it was transported, that water from the factory, to the store. For how many hours was exposed in one of those trucks in the heat. And now the nanoplastics are in there, and then we're drinking it. So it might not give me diarrhea, but I'm drinking an enemy in that case. And the thing is, can I avoid that? I can't. We're traveling in October, and there's nothing I can do about that in terms of avoiding that. So there are ways for me to somehow drain that out when I return back to Colombia. Okay? And so that's what you see, that arrow about eating it, but also it can go through your skin. Okay, these nanoplastics. So these are two ways of it. Now, the next one that you can see here, it's not as big as you could actually, I don't think you can read it from there, but let me show you. I mean, there are a few things here. The first square right here on the side, it's about preservatives, okay? And let me speak to you about like this. See, vegetables and fruits in general were created with a certain type of nitrites or nitrates to preserve for a certain number of days or weeks, okay? Then industrialization took that concept and applied that to meat, whether it's chicken, goat, or lamb, or fish, or beef, you name it, okay? Because it's a good business. But basically, if a flesh is dead and it's not refrigerated, it should rotten. That is the normal process on the cell decomposition and the apoptosis of it. Okay, so this was applied from fruits and vegetables to meat so that everybody can somehow enjoy a 100% fat-free turkey ham. Oops. See, nitrates and nitrites in meat, whether it's turkey, would produce something called nitrosamines. Please Google that. Find out. Research yourself. Nitrosamines are carcinogenic. So I want you to think of this. The next time you're eating sausages or ham or pepperoni, whatever, you know, and when you're eating, you say, I am eating cancer. And as you're eating it and chewing it, and it tastes delicious, think of the ones you love. It changes you. It changes your perspective. And if you don't practice that kind of behavior, you just continue bringing it in. And these are carcinogenic. All right? And so someone asked a question, what if we have a genetic? Well, there are ways to make that less impactful, less strong. And so we start with it, okay? So there we have these preservatives. That's one of the areas on there. But also we have all these dyes, which is, you see these colors here. You see red, yellow, green, blue. Amenity is designed intentionally with the most, the greatest organic colors your system needs, which is bright red, root beet, bright green, which is spirulina, and also bright yellow, which is turmeric. But then industrialization took that as a copycat and made all of it just red number 5 and yellow number 14, you name it. And everybody, well, not everybody, but many people know that all these dyes, all these colors are affecting children's behavior or hormonal system, nerve system, and we see all this, a lot of children with autism and ADHD and all of it together. And so we've seen that when you change nutrition, everything gets better, okay? So we have on one side preservatives, and then we have all these colorings, and it affects the person, okay, together with flavoring. I mean, all the taste. I wish I could tell you how many types of sugar you see here, glucose, okay? Whether it's mannitol, sorbitol, it's flavoring that comes together. So what it does is the addition of the addition of preservatives, dyes, and flavoring. It's called ultra-processed food. You see? And I'm bringing this one today. I want you to read it right there. Can you read it? What it says? The what? Yes, the 11th commandment. You know what it is? All right, sorry. Yes, exactly. Yes. And so that's, you see, it's a grenade, actually. Can you see it? Yeah. It's a matter of just someone is going to pull that out and boom. Okay? And obviously, you see all these oils. All right? I just recently learned the term of deep fried. I thought it was fried, but there is a difference between deep fried and not so deep, I guess. But let me give you just one simple truth. Oiled, if it's not cold pressed, is dead. I don't care if it says corn oil, soy oil, sunflower oil. Was it cold pressed? Then it's good. Was it just running into industrialization in order for you to eat fish and chips? Some people are laughing about it. Then that oil is dead. Okay? So all of that together becomes one ally. And so one side we have the nanoplastics, now we have everything that people actually is bringing in, okay? And I wish I could say you're eating organic. I don't know. I really don't know. I hope you do, okay? I mean, there are some other countries that I definitely don't trust, even if it says organic. But I don't know. All right, so, and then the next part over here, we see again heavy metals. Heavy metals. Yes, maybe the onion you bought says organic, but I don't know how that soil was treated, and then it goes into the onion, and then you bring it home. And you might be eating, whether it's arsenic, cadmium, lead, mercury. Okay, and I already mentioned to you how it affects the systems. You see? And then as we continue, all right, and this is what I want to stop, right there, okay? So imagine we have all these nanoplastics coming in. We have all these wrong behaviors of nutrition, and also we have all these heavy metals coming into the system. You're bringing them in. You're bringing them in, plus everything outside, okay? So at some point, that's going to go straight to your intestine, and it's going to produce something called intestinal dysbiosis. Okay, what it is your intestine has, or your gut has the, most of the immune systems come from there, okay? Some people say it's 75%, some people say it's 80%. It's still a lot, okay? But there is a delicate balance there. There are some kingdoms in your intestines. They must have the right balance. And I'm talking about viruses and bacteria, parasites, okay? And so when, and fungus, when one of them gets out of balance, then you have an intestinal dysbiosis, and all of this will contribute to that. When that happened, their immune system goes down, and sickness starts. Well, sickness continues, okay? So it was silent until you finally see all the consequences. In fact, there are around 90 sicknesses, autoimmune disease, okay? Officially speaking, there's so many. but they also share within this family of 90 sicknesses on autoimmune disease, they all share one thing in common. It's called leaky gut. I'm saying whether it's multiple sclerosis, lupus, or any other, psoriasis, I'm saying is the barrier in the gut is broken and is filtrating major particles that is actually affecting the whole body. That's called leaky gut. And all those sicknesses, they share that. So whenever I see someone with an autoimmune disease, I know that besides what I see, we have to work on the guts and progressively fix it. So there will be a balance and the person will recover their quality of life, which is what you saw on this lady from Switzerland who was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. All right, so there we have it, okay? And so once these three are in place, that's what's going to happen. These are some symptoms that you see on those arrows, and I just mentioned some of them, okay? And as we go around on the next stage over there, look what we have. You see here, again, the systems that are affected, nerve system, endocrine system, you go. You see, just like the one we saw before in the other video, immune system, circulatory system, gut microbiome. The next one, it's very interesting. It promotes leaky gut. All of that promotes leaky gut, and I just explained that. And then when we go to all these heavy metals, we have the system, affected system is nerve system, endocrine, immune system, circulatory, and gut microbiome. No wonder people get sick. And finally, there you see it, intestinal dysbiosis. It's right there, okay? And so everything that I just said, and I'm going to make a pause if there is a question. If not, I continue. Is there someone who still hasn't asked a question from the group? Yes, please.
This is actually from someone who's watching online. She said, Robert has a question. Why does Dr. Mena use the word allies rather than risk factors, as would be normal in New Zealand?
Thank you for that. I didn't know that, okay? Thank you for that. Then we can say risk factors, all right? But let me explain what I mean about allies. They are allies of cancer, all of this, meaning they're your enemies. And I know, I guarantee you, I know this one because I've seen it over and over. This is why I'm showing you these videos. People from different nations. When you target the allies, sickness goes like this, boom. So you can focus only on the sickness and let the allies keep feeding the sickness. Or you can focus on the sickness and then just get all these allies, get them out of question. Erase them. And you will see the results. And that's why we see all these videos, okay? Okay, I'll take one more question if there is one more question. If not, then I'll continue. Are we okay? Yes? Okay. So this is like a summary of everything I just explained on the endogenous allies or risk factors, okay? Yes, please, the video.
You drink one of these a day for 7 days. This is how much sugar you're ingesting. 273 grams. That's just one a day. Now wait, catch this. If you drink one a day for a month, I can hardly lift it. That's how many pounds of sugar. I think it's 4 pounds of sugar.
Drinking Coke every day can harm your kidneys. The high levels of phosphoric acid can lead to kidney stones and even chronic kidney disease. The artificial chemicals in Coke, like caramel coloring and preservatives, may increase the risk of certain cancers. Drinking this daily increases your risk of obesity, type 2 diabetes, and raise your risk of heart disease.
Do you want the cancer?
The what?
Do you want the cancer?
The cancer.
The can? Sir?
Oh, no.
eat on average about 12 plastic grocery bags per year from microplastics. Microplastics have been found in our brains, testicles, placentas, and even breast milk. So here are 10 tips to avoid plastics and microplastics. Stop drinking out of coffee cups. Stop drinking from plastic containers or bottles. BPA-free isn't good enough, so switch to glass or stainless steel. Avoid heating up plastic since heat releases more microplastic particles. Avoid plastic wraps.
I think I let it sink in. I just let it sink for a little bit. And you guys have been amazing tonight with all your questions and into the conference. So thank you so much for the attention and the interest that I have observed. But let me just show you like the two, and I mean the exogenous and endogenous allies all together. Look at it right there. See, you have exogenous, and so it's the same person from the outside being attacked with all these waves and all these heavy metals affecting all the system. You see, whether it's nerve system, endocrinal system, and then goes microplastics, which is like a twin brother from for heavy metals from the outside, and we bring the cleaning supplies and then the beauty cosmetics all together, and then comes the inside, and you can see we have the nanoplastics right there, and then all those type of eating things like preservatives and dyes and hydrogenated oils and the many types of glucose and sugar. And then you can also see how all these heavy metals again affect from the inside. So we have from the outside, we have it from the inside, and it's like you're a sandwich, you see? And so inside and outside is just pressing silently. Right there. And so when finally the sickness is diagnosed, it has many allies who contributed to it, including obviously genetic or chronic disease as well as diabetes. It is all together right there. Okay. Now, if you were not sick, if you had no one of these diagnosed, I could actually speak about some suggestions or solutions over there. Okay. And recently, because of the question somebody asked, I recommended that go ahead and get one of those activated charcoals water filters, because it helps, and that's what you see right on top on the next slide, right there. Okay. And yes, you also have vitamin, as you can see, vitamin D, C, and E is right there. You already saw cellulite. I explained about it. So I'm giving you some solutions on it. If you have identified some of these allies in your life and how to actually bring a solution to it, okay? There are others that you can see there. Actually, I added a, it's called adaptogen. But I want to show you the one on your right, the one on your right, that little water there, that little water bottle there. It's a water oxygenator. Okay, you just get water, tap water on there, plug it in, and it brings more oxygen to your water. And there is a concept about sicknesses, is this. Most sicknesses that you know, the concept is a lack of oxygen. And actually, if we were talking about cancer, cancer needs an acid environment to survive. When you bring an alkaline environment, it loses power. So most of my patients would actually get one of those as part of their protocol, okay? And there you can see, again, amenity, which is because I already shared with you all the properties that it does, okay? And so I'd like to show you one more video, Jessica. So we've seen people from Belgium, people from Switzerland. Jessica from the United States, that's the video you're about to see. She was diagnosed with a lymphoma Hodgkin's cancer, And when I met her, she was in a really critical condition. She contacted me via online, and then we started the protocol for her, and I am glad she survived. And she's doing good now. And on that video, you'll see she's still wearing one of those hats because chemotherapy took off all of her hair, but she's alive, and she's doing really good. So here goes Jessica.
For you who are listening to me, I like to encourage you and tell you that you are not alone. There are many fighting this battle, but we are not alone. We are with God, holding His hands, and with our Protocol MENA program. One day, I found a protuberance in my armpit. I got scared. The surgeon checked on me and told me he has to do a biopsy. But at first, he must perform a surgery on me and remove it completely. When the biopsy results were given to me, the doctor told me, "Your results are positive for cancer." It took me a surprise, and it was very painful to give this news to my husband and my uncle. But it was even more painful to share this news with my son, who is just 9 years old. Well, he understood, and I was able to explain to him what was happening. When the doctor checked on me, he ordered specific studies known as PET scan, which scans your whole body. The diagnosis was lymphatic cancer, Hodgkin's lymphoma stage 3 was my diagnosis. In this process, I met Dr. Mena, who told me and recommended this program, Protocol MENA. The truth is, when you go through chemotherapy, there are other people in the same process. And I have seen that I had a different outcome compared to them on side effects, because they don't have this program, which had helped me to feel better and more encouraged. This is my testimony. Before I went through my 5th chemotherapy, they did another PET scan to see if the medication was working. Because for many people, it doesn't work, and they must do more chemotherapies with a stronger chemical. But Protocol MENA helped me. I trust so much in God, and I ask Him so much. And I follow the whole Protocol MENA program. The surgeon was surprised when he saw my test result, because he couldn't find anything. Tumors had gotten smaller, and he wanted to show me how little they were, but surprised, he couldn't find anything. For God's glory. Don't be afraid, my friend. I invite you to join us.
I wish you could meet Jessica. She's amazing. She's a warrior. And so if I were to treat a person, I know I have to address the nerve system, the endocrine system, immune system, gut microbiome, as you read there, adaptogens. I have to use adaptogens, antioxidants, oxygenators, probiotics, prebiotics, dewormers, ultra-processed food diet, and organic dieting. That would be some of the approach I will take. I didn't mention 3 more. I didn't want to get that complicated for the last 3. But here you have it. It's like if you're going to fight against a giant, you don't use one player. You bring the whole team. And when you bring the whole team, smash them. And then it works. Okay? And so that's been my experience. I am well aware that God is in control. There are some people who have contacted me, and even though they followed everything by the word, there was just not enough time. Yes. And that's when we learn humbleness and know that God is sovereign. And I to completely submit to him and to everything he wants to. But he has also revealed that there is a solution, and we can bring it to people. And as long as I'm alive, I'm going to come alongside many people around this planet in order to fight with them and for them. And so I just want to finish. I mean, you tried Amenity. It's the result of more than 3 years of research, trying, applying into healthy people and those who are also sick, and seeing the results of it in them. The ingredients are not hidden. Anybody can go ahead and buy it everywhere. But the study done for all these years, the perfect combination and the specific order and the amount of each of these ingredients, it's what really counts, you see? And so that's called knowledge. And it has taken me all these years. And quite a few people actually have participated with me on this trial. And so this is my way of saying thank you to you all for embracing my son. Okay? The most important, I mean, the real cost of this is knowledge. Because anybody can just go ahead and buy the ingredients. It's not hiding. It's actually written here. You can read all the ingredients. Thank you. It has been an honor. Thank you so much.